sort some things out, search for some truth, learn a few things, and sail this ship straight on through till morning. Richard Serra filling in for George Henry, the hardest working man in show business. And once again, coming to you live from Coast's Toronto affiliate, Talk Radio, AM 640. Here we are heading into the fourth week of April. And here in Toronto, we can feel earlier in the week. I'm not sure what the weather's like where you are. It's not spring yet here, that's for sure. More like the 56th of February, or I don't know, maybe the 39th of March. I'm starting to wonder, is this the coming ice age? If so, I say bring it on and let's be done with it. Maybe this is exactly what these scientists I've been reading about in the news section of Mental Coast to Coast AM, the coming ice age. Remember the movie Ice Age, the series of movies, the animated films with Ray Romano as the woolly mammoth. Well, scientists have announced that they've completed sequencing the entire genome of the long extinct woolly mammoth. And in a couple of years, you may be reading how the first woolly mammoth embryo has been implanted in a female elephant at some zoo. If they can produce enough woolly mammoths enough to establish a viable population for a while, they can introduce or reintroduce these Eurasianopithecus into the boreal forests of Russia, Eurasia. Now then, Winchester Sean Lattiser has posted that story, and others, including an awe-inspiring set of photos of some really cool space fireworks, all part of NASA's celebration of the Hubble telescope's 25th anniversary. That's in the featured section of Coast to Coast AM, and also to be found only in the news section for all of you D.B. Cooper fans. The most 8 intriguing theories about skyjacker D.B. Cooper. Of course, the question has persisted since November 24th, 1971, when a mysterious man hijacked a flight from Portland to Seattle, demanded parachutes and $200,000, and then skydived into folk hero history, whose identity, of course, and fate remain unknown. Hey, it's Friday, and what do we do on Fridays? Well, some of us may want to fish, I suppose, but Friday means open lines on Coast to Coast, the last 2 hours of the broadcast, that is. So what happens is we take this spaceship and cruise just above the tree line and pick up a few hitchhikers. Or maybe you can get out on the roof of your garden shed or the balcony and signal us with your flashlight. Then you climb aboard and the co-pilot seat for a few minutes and help steer this ship just about wherever you want to take it. Actually, come to think of it, I had a neighbor once. I swear to God, he used to get up on his roof in the wee hours with a flashlight and claimed he was sending signals to aliens. One quick flash followed by 2 long flashes. I don't know, I guess it meant something like taking me a cold. I always wondered whatever happened to that guy. Maybe he's up on the roof tonight. Before we get to open lines, we have to delve into this whole question of who is messing with our minds and why. Mind control, brainwashing, surveillance, electronic harassment, Marie Jones. Let's see if anybody comes to the coast. My word, but cheater, writing partner, Larry Flaxman, Margaret Dimmick. Their latest is, quite frankly, a rather disturbing, alarming history of the aforementioned mind control, surveillance, electronic harassment. And this didn't start with Dr. Jose Delgado back in the 50s, attaching brain implants in monkeys and bulls and then playing them like electronic toys with a radio receiver. This stuff goes all the way back to the ancient Egyptians. Of course, they weren't using voice-to-skull or pulsed microwaves or neurolinguistic programming or EEG cloning, but the idea was the same. If you want to control a population, you hack into their minds. And whether we admit it or not, we're all brainwashed, some more than others. Some of us are resisting with every fiber of our being. Others, well, let's just say their brains have been washed, put through the rinse cycle, and carefully hung to dry. Edward Bernays was an Austrian-American and a pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda. In fact, he's referred to as the father of public relations. Here's what good old Eddie had to say about mind control. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of this unseen mechanism of society. Let me back up there. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as a smoothly functioning society. In almost every act of our daily lives, whether in the sphere of politics or business, social patterns of the masses, it is they who pull the wires which control the public mind. Coming up next, Marie Jones, Mind Wars, and who's been watching you from the shadows. Now, where's my wacky neighbor with that flashlight when I need him? I'm Richard Serrett, and you're listening to Coast AM.
Hey, you like making great money, right? Well, here's a cool opportunity I want to share with you. Driving with Uber. Uber is that popular smartphone app that connects riders with drivers. I take Uber along, and in chatting with the different drivers, some of them have really interesting stories on why they drive with Uber. They love being their own boss, make great money, and it's so easy to get started. You just need a car and a license. Driving with Uber is great for anyone who needs flexibility. Your parents, this is an easy way to work around your family's schedule. And students, make extra money between classes. Now is the prime time to cash in driving with Uber. Come fall, could that be for the extra cash? And who knows? Maybe I could be getting into your car when you drive with Uber. You got a car and a license. Put them together to work for you and start earning serious, life-changing money today. Sign up to Drive with Uber. Visit drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com. Drivewithuber.com.
One of the best recommendations that I could give is to keep your immune system strong.
Ty, by the way, is also a spokesperson for one of our clients, Carnivora. And I believe the owners of Carnivora heard you on the program, Ty. Is that how that happened?
You know, it's funny, George. You interviewed me for the first time about 4 or 5 years ago. And when we were on that interview, I talked about how my family took Carnivora each day. And the owner, Richard Ostrow for Carnivora, contacted me after that and said, hey, I'd love for you to do some commercials for us because you're a believer in the product. And I can say this wholeheartedly, I don't sell Carnivora. I don't make a penny off of the sales of Carnivora. It's just a great product. What's the difference? It's the immune system, so we want to be healthy.
We sure do.
1-866-368-7335. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Or visit carnivora.com. CARNIVORA.com. For 15% off, use the promotion code 15OFM. That's 15OFM.
Marie D. Jones is a best-selling author, screenwriter, researcher, public speaker. She's the author of 2013 End of Days or A New Beginning, Envisioning the World After the Events of 2012. And also, together with her co-author, Larry Flaxman, she's authored 1111, The Time Prompt Phenomenon, The Meaning Behind Mysterious Signs, Sequences, and Synchronicities, and The Resonance Key, Exploring the Links Between Vibration, Consciousness, and the Zero-Point Grid. And her latest, again with Larry Flaxman, Mind Wars, A History of Mind Control, Surveillance, and Social Engineering by the Government, Media, and Secret Societies. Marie, welcome back to Coast. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back. Good to
Yeah.
be here.
It'd be great to talk to you again. And I hope I'm not telling tales out of school. I know Larry is pulling a late-night shift. Does he not work, did you tell me, at the Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, he's in Atlanta, though. He had a speaking event tonight in Atlanta. And, it's just, he only got one of us. So, yeah.
Well, we're delighted to have you. Well, I was just wondering whether the Department of Homeland Security, is there any irony I should be reading into that?
I know, isn't that weird? He works in, I believe, cyber security with computers and things like that. So, yeah, he had a little bit of input, not a lot, but you can't talk too much about what you do, but a lot of insight into some of the things that are going on. And it, you know, certainly, I'm sure we'll be talking about surveillance, and computer surveillance is a huge, you know, or the internet is not safe. I mean, people think people on the internet that everything they do is safe, and it just isn't. It's a free-for-all, people. So
It's
yeah,
another
that was
tool.
really
It's another tool.
Well,
in our
it is,
arsenal.
and it's a wonderful tool, and I love the internet, and I love the way that it allows us to communicate with people all over the world and spread and share ideas, but it's also a big, giant eye of Big Brother as well.
Earlier, I read a quote from Edward Bernays, considered the father of public relations. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. What do you think of that? Is it an important element?
No, I think that it goes against what a democratic society is. In a democratic society, you would think that you would be free to come to your own judgments and conclusions and have free thought and not constantly have this kind of invasive coercion to try to get you to behave a certain way or consume certain products or think certain thoughts, have certain beliefs. So no, I think that these propaganda men, these very slick PR men are so savvy. The way that they use language, it's very confusing, and it causes a cognitive dissonance in people where you don't know what's coming at you. Somebody's telling you something, but it means the exact opposite, and yet the way they said it, you think it means exactly what they, you know, it's so confusing. And I think that's why it works. And the way language and rhetoric, it's been around forever. It's been in politics, it's been in religion. I think we use language and rhetoric on each other in our everyday lives, too.
Sure, I was just going to ask you whether you think, I mean, to what extent is brainwashing techniques, mind control, to what extent is it part of our makeup as human beings to want to manipulate the habits and opinions of people around us? I mean, bosses do this to their employees, parents do it to their children, teachers to their students. Is it part of being human?
Exactly, and one of the places I think that you most see it happening is in relationships with spouses or love relationships, the kind of manipulation that people, you know, the lengths that people go to try to get someone to approve of them. Yeah, it's everywhere, and I think it's part of a basic human nature. I think ever since humans have walked the earth, we have been exercising some forms of mind control on each other. But I think at that time, it was more about survival, and I think it was directed towards individuals, whereas now we have social engineering where literally we have people trying to come up with new and improved ways to make us behave certain ways as a population, as a group.
Yeah, I think that one form of brainwashing many people can relate to, and I certainly can, it's become known as gaslighting, named after the movie Gaslight with, I think it was Ingrid Bergman back in the 40s. And I've had professional colleagues or people that have sort of pretended to be friends that have tried to use gaslighting techniques, and we know certainly that abusive spouses will use gaslighting in order to sort of engender confusion and anxiety in the victim by telling them that didn't happen, or as you say, create cognitive dissonance.
It's crazy. And you know what's funny is I was almost reluctant to include a lot of that. We wrote quite a bit about narcissism and psychopaths and sociopaths and some of the methods that they use to control their victims, to make their victims weak, think they're going crazy. But we couldn't leave it out because it really does show you how this is a part of everyday life. This is a part of, you know, inner human communication, and it has nothing to do with the government. It has nothing to do with secret societies. This is us, this way that we treat each other. So that was something that we really felt strongly that we needed to kind of start with, to say, you know, we've been doing this to each other. Now let's go look at some of the ways that the government or the military or whoever the powers that be are doing it to us as well.
For a lot of us, we
This doesn't work with narcissism there.
think of brainwashing or mind control.
That's gaslighting right there.
Scientists who learn how to produce dissociative disorder in victims through mass trauma or abuse and
Right.
drugs, compartmentalize the brain. And then some of these doctors, these Nazis, some of them escaped the hangman's noose at Nuremberg, and they ended up in the United States under Operation
Oh, we shipped them over first class, didn't we?
Well,
you know,
why did the U.S. Feel a need to bring these scientists to America, and how did they put them to use?
Well, Operation Paperclip is a fascinating subject. I've wanted to write about it for years. I know that there's a couple of really high-quality books out about it now, but apparently right after World War II, we fought over a number of top-level scientists and engineers and weapons and aerodynamics specialists because we wanted to learn their secrets before the Soviets did. This is really sort of a counterintelligence program of us versus the Soviet Union, and yet the funny thing is, here we were coddling some of the worst criminals that ever walked the earth because they had brilliance, because they had advanced technology, and a lot of them were involved in types of mind control, using torture, using drugs,